Mafia: The Old Country just released for consoles and PC, and while it does a lot right, there are some things that I found kind of lacking. What's up, everybody? This is SSG, aka Sergeant Sentinel, and this is another Sergeant Sentinel Gaming video game review. Now, today I'm obviously talking about Mafia: The Old Country, but before I continue, I want to say thanks. If you're watching this video, I greatly appreciate it. Be sure to hit that like button. If you have something to say, leave it in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Now, Mafia: The Old Country was developed by Hangar 13. It released on August 7th, 2025 for Xbox Series consoles, PlayStation 5, and PC. And it retailed for $50, which is $20 less than full price right now, which caught a lot of people's attention. Also, in contrast to how Mafia 3 was, this is a tight, linear experience. It's not open world, and it is a campaign that's about 10 to 12 hours, depending on how fast you play through that. Now, that's not completionist necessarily. Completionist will probably run you 16 to 17 hours. But if you're just playing through the campaign, trying to complete the game, it's going to run you anywhere from 10 to 12 hours. So it is a smaller, more controlled, tight, linear experience, which a lot of people were actually excited about, because one of the biggest complaints about Mafia 3 that I've heard repeatedly is that the open world was just too big and it had too much stuff in it to do, and it kind of detracted from the Mafia experience. So Hangar 13 didn't want to fall into that same, into the same problem they had with Mafia 3 with this newest entry in the franchise. So what they did, of course, was keep it very specific and very focused on the story that they wanted to tell. Now, for the sake of those that have not played this game yet, I am going to avoid spoilers just because I want them to play Mafia: The Old Country and experience it for themselves. The story is beautiful. It's very well written. It does have tragedy in it, but it is one that's very endearing. All of the characters in the story are very well written, and the voice actors do a phenomenal job with the characters that they portray, and it helps everything to come together from a narrative and storyline perspective. The story itself takes place over the course of several years. It's contained within about a decade, a little less than that. It takes place in the early 1900s in Sicily, and it's before the events of Mafia 1 by probably 25 years, by about 25 years. And it's detached from Mafia 1. They do make some references to their friends in Empire Bay, which, of course, for those of you that might not be familiar with the franchise, is Mafia's version of New York City. So they do make mentions of that throughout this game, but not as much as you would expect. But again, that's because they want Mafia: The Old Country to be its own experience and not rely on heavy references to other games in the franchise, because it takes place before, so they only briefly mention Empire Bay and they only make a couple of references to it. As with previous Mafia games, you do go on missions to help out your family, to improve their business prospects, and to eliminate threats that are basically endangering your family's status, as well as endangering certain members of that family. But this game can basically be broken down into 4 different parts, or 4 different gameplay situations. There's knife fights, and believe me, there's a lot of knife fights in this game. There's stealth situations that may or may not turn into shootouts. There's racing that don't necessarily have combat elements involved. And, of course, there's car/horse chases. Sometimes you'll be racing in a car, sometimes you'll be racing in a horse, where you're chasing bad guys and you're shooting at bad guys. And the linear nature of this game prevents there from being much more flexibility with this. And because of that, I think for some people that might be an issue, because it limits the types of experiences that you can have within this game outside of the story that this game is trying to tell. So aside from the gameplay situation limitations, I do think that the conclusion of this story is going to be one that not a lot of people like. Now, that's not saying it's a bad story. It's just saying that it has a resolution that will irk some people. It's going to piss some people off. And if this was a full price game, I would say, you know what, definitely hold off on this because it's not worth the $70. But it's not $70. It's $50. And they said right away, hey, it's a smaller, more linear experience. So the biggest question is this worth $50? I would say, in my opinion, it's probably worth $40. And if I had to give this game a grade, I would say probably 8 out of 10. Just because of the gameplay limitations and because of the end of the story, which I didn't really like. But up until that point, it's a pretty good story, and it is a fun, enjoyable experience. So if you like the Mafia games, Mafia the Old Country is probably a game you're going to want to pick up. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. If you did enjoy this video, definitely hit the like button. If you have something to say, leave it in the comment section below. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you do that right now. And as always, be sure to check out my other videos. I do have a lot of other game review videos up, so if you enjoy gaming related content, definitely check them out. This is SSG, aka Sergeant Sentinel. Take it easy, gamers.